Yo, what's good, people? I'm back. I'm back for another video. I'm actually heading out soon, but it was just something that popped in my head, and I was like, look, I might as well spit it out on video before I dip, because I know if I go and come back, it's just not going to be the same. Right, so this video here, I was thinking about it, and it's like this. Do you know if you're in a relationship or a situationship? Let's get into it. By relationship and situationship, I mean some people think they're in relationships, but they're actually just being dragged along by their opposite partner, whether it be the male or the female. You feel me? Now, by that I mean, okay, I'll start off. I'll just say a couple of things that I feel would make one think if they're either in a relationship or in a situationship. I feel number one, you are in a situationship. I'll start off with the situationships first. I feel you're in a situationship, number one, if your partner is carrying X baggage. Now, by X baggage, I mean, if you find yourself always consoling your partner about their ex, saying it's alright, it's this, I'm gonna be better, and you see them always, referring to their ex about things, that means they fully haven't moved on from their ex. You feel me? The fact that you're consoling them all the time means that their heart isn't where it should be right now. Their heart still needs to be mended. You feel me? So until their heart is fully mended, they're not going to be able to move on in the relationship, whether it be the guy or the girl. You understand? So number one thing, should I say, that I personally think makes it a situationship is if your partner is carrying X baggage. You need to realize that, he or she isn't there. Like, you're not there solely for a shoulder to lie on. You deserve love as much as they deserve the same love that you're giving. You understand? So you don't want to be a shoulder to cry on for them all the time while their heart hasn't finished mending up. So they need time to grieve and mend over whatever they've been through before they then start, fully moving on with you. Second thing that I would feel makes people in a relationship or a situationship than a relationship is if you constantly find your partner telling you little white lies. Now, it's calm if the lie is coming from a selfless place. You feel me? But if they're lying to you about every little thing and every other thing, it's a problem. You feel me? Which means they clearly don't have this trust, that's supposed to be in a relationship, because a relationship is built off trust, communication, and understanding. If you don't have these three things, if one is missing, it's like an equation. If one is missing, the other, they're not gonna add up at all. You feel me? So if you find your partner always telling you little white lies over the littlest things, it's a problem. Understand? You need to let them know that you're there to, speak. That's what you're in the relationship for. You need to speak to them about certain things. Understand? And if they can't speak to you about them little things, then it's a situation. So obviously your partner isn't obviously allowing you lot to move in the direction that you should be moving to. You understand? Because the trust isn't there. You know what I'm trying to say. Now, number three, what I feel makes people, what I think people might, be doing that makes them in a situationship rather than a relationship is love bombarding. Now, love bombarding is a form of emotional manipulation that people don't really clock properly. Now, what does Canoli mean by this? Right, now, in certain relationships, this is mostly from the guy. This is from the guy's point of view. Guys do this thing of placing, it could be from a girl too, but mostly guys do this thing of placing their significant other on a pedestal, right? And when they're on this pedestal, they make them feel so loved, they make them feel so special, they make them feel like nothing can actually take them away from them. And that then makes the opposite half reliable on them for everything. Now, that's when it becomes a problem, because then it becomes a codependent relationship. You don't want a codependent relationship, because if she's always relying on him for stuff, then that's where it goes bad, because every little thing she does, it's going to have to come from him first. He's going to have to approve of it. That's when he starts turning into her dad. That's when he starts turning into her older brother. You never want your you never want your significant other or your partner to feel like they're your older brother. You don't want them to you don't want to look at your boyfriend like he's talking to me like he's my older brother. He's talking to me like he's my dad. You never want that. Trust me. Because if you feel like that, the way you take in the information, it's not coming from a right place. It's coming from a place of anger. It's like, why are you talking to me like you're my dad? And that's what you find, with a relationship. That's where you find fights and arguments come out of nowhere, you feel me? So you never want to be in a codependent relationship. Right, so 4, then I'm gonna move on to the relationships. Consistent monitoring. I won't lie to you, this bugs me too. You don't want to be in a relationship where your partner is consistently monitoring you. Now, look, I'm not saying monitoring is a bad thing. Checking up on your girl or your guy is lovely. That's what you're supposed to do. That's why you're there. But don't overdo it. Overdoing it is when you're belling them constantly, texting them constantly, even when you know they're doing something important. They could have told you, "Oh, babe, I'm off to the shop with my mom," but he's still constantly calling you. What you did? Where you at? Like, what you up to? Call me. This, that. That's when it becomes a problem, because if he's consistently monitoring you, which means he or she. That's if he or she is consistently monitoring you, which means he or she doesn't have the correct mindset. So they're probably thinking, oh, they're not really doing what they say they're doing. You understand? So that all boils that back down to trust. If that trust isn't there, if you can't trust your partner when your partner says, I'm going to the shop with my mom, or I'm going to the shop with my friends, it's a problem. You're not in a relationship. That's a situationship, bro. Because I mean, imagine you going to the shop with your friends and your man or your girl thinks, oh, he's probably cheating on me, she's probably cheating on me. Like, deep how bad that is, you understand? That's not a relationship. The trust is completely gone there. Like, there's no trust whatsoever. You know, the trust levels are so low. So that's what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say, checking up is cool. Checking up is needed. Always check up on your girl. Always check up on your man, because you don't know the kind of day they're having. They might be having a bad day, and that little text from you can make their day the best day in the whole world. Trust me. Understand? So it's cool to check up on them. Don't over monitor them. You're not a CCTV camera, bro. Or sis, however you want to put it. You lot are not CCTV cameras, so don't make it look like, you know, you've got consistent surveillance of them the whole time. You're not the police. The police can do their job by themselves. Right now, like, before I move on to this little section, I'm not no relationship expert. I'm not no relationship guru. I'm not a flipping, I'm not God or nothing, you understand? I don't make the rules. This is just what works for me, you understand? So this could work for anybody and everybody, but the thing is, a lot of situations are very similar these days, you understand? Now, signs of a good, healthy relationship, when you know that you're in a good relationship. Now, like I said again, none of this is actually proven, you understand? I'm just letting y'all know that this is how it feels for me. This is what works for me. First thing, you openly communicate. When you openly communicate in a relationship, you find that things get said easier. You understand? You find that when something is supposed to be said without it actually being forced out of them, it's said anyways, because they feel like it needs to be said. They don't have to force it out of them. Understand? So openly communicating, once you lot are transparent in a relationship, that just shows that you guys both want to move forward. You understand? It shows that you guys actually want to, elevate from one level to the next. So one, sign, should I say, that you're in a good, healthy relationship and not a situationship is that you lot openly communicate. Not just communicate, but openly communicate. Once you lot can talk about anything from actually personal issues to taboo issues. Now, by taboo issues, I mean stuff that are not even relevant. And honestly, by personal issues, I mean, anything from emotional to mental to psychological, anything in that aspect. If you lot are openly transparent in all aspects, trust me, you're in a good relationship. Number 2, you lot argue. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, look, don't argue with your partner, because if you argue with your partner, you're just gonna drive each other away and you're getting used to, arguing with each other. No. It might sound strange, but arguing is actually good for a relationship. I won't even lie to you. I mean, arguing means that you lot are not bottling up your feelings. Arguing means that you lot are expressing how you feel when you need to express how you feel. Understand? So arguing is actually very good for a relationship. People mightn't understand, like, in the heat of the moment, it doesn't seem like it, but if you really do deep it and you take time to look at after the argument, you find that if you really take time to deep it, you find that after the argument, you lot feel better about yourselves, because everything that was meant to be said, that was bottled in, is now being said. So sometimes argument is actually good for a relationship. But you see, there's a difference between arguing and arguing sensitively, should I say. Arguing, like just arguing, will not help anything. But arguing sensitively means that you're letting each other voice your opinions, right? and at the same time you're soaking in each other's opinions. So you're not just throwing one opinion and she's throwing the other opinion and he's throwing the other opinion. You all need to throw both opinions in, compromise, come to a compromise, come to like a level ground. Trust me, and that personally, I think that makes that lets people know that they're in a good relationship. 3, y'all keep relationship topics and situations private. Nobody wants a partner that once something happens, all her homegirls are involved or all her homeboys are involved, all his homeboys are involved. Trust me, nobody wants a relationship where everybody knows their itch, because that's just not cool. Personally, I wouldn't want that. I know people don't want that. So a healthy, or just if you to know that you're in a good relationship, your partner will not just spread and say everything to everybody. Your business stays your business. You understand? And that's also another sign that you are in a good relationship, because obviously the trust is there, the love is there, the respect for each other is there. The fact that I'm not going to say this to him and he's going to go and say it to everybody else, and then they're going to come back to me. Because imagine you say something to somebody and then 5, 6 other people come back to you saying, oh, your boy told me this, your girl told me this. How are you going to feel about that? You understand? So, you know, that's a sign of a healthy relationship, that you lot can actually keep your shit confidential. You know what I'm saying? And trust me, it works. Number 4, this is probably going to be my last point. You don't hold grudges. You never want to hold a grudge against your partner. Look, it's calm to, you know, get annoyed. You know, it's calm to show that you're annoyed. You understand? You always want to express how you really feel. But you never actually want to hold a grudge against your partner, because the more you hold a grudge against your partner, you don't know what tomorrow holds. Personally, I've been brought up to not hold grudges. Personally, I was kind of brought up to be like, look, you don't know what could happen. The person that you're angry at today could be no more tomorrow. So instead of holding grudges, you can be annoyed. It's not bad to be annoyed, but make sure you let them know that it's nothing deep. Especially because in relationships, sometimes it's nothing deep. It really is not that deep. And obviously in the heat of the moment, the two couples are added, and they don't really deep that. Look, it's not really that deep a situation for us to be arguing like this over, you know what I'm saying? And then they tend to hold grudges. And like, you said this, I don't forgive you for that. 3, 4, 5 days. Is it because you see them alive for the next 3, 4, 5 days? That's why you're holding that grudge. I assure people, if they saw their partner that they were holding a grudge against, God forbid, lying on a bed and they weren't moving and they weren't speaking, they wouldn't be too quick to hold a grudge. You understand? So what I'm trying to say is, another good sign, my last good sign of a healthy and a good relationship, and not a situationship, is that you lot do not hold grudges against each other. For more than, like, come on, realistically, if you're in a relationship and two of you really do love each other, grudges should not be held for more than an hour, personally speaking. It depends on the kind of, you know, anger you've got. If you've got that high-tempered anger, come on, 3 hours max. Let it go. She's your girl, he's your man. Fix it. If you don't want to fix it, I'm not going to say nothing, but if you don't want to fix it, you know, you lot should be looking for other partners, because obviously you're in a situationship then. You know what I'm saying? It's just going to continue bringing fight, argument. You understand? Look, like I said before, I'm not no relationship guru. I'm actually late. Heck. I'm not no relationship guru. I'm not no, you know, relationship expert. I'm just speaking off a thought that was in my head. And I felt that people do need to know some of these things, because people don't know. And relationships are being broken, you know, because people don't know. And also relationships that aren't supposed to be relationships are, you know, going ahead just because people don't know. So I'd like to, I'm not trying to break nobody up. Don't nobody come to me saying, oh, you broke me and my girlfriend up, you broke me and my... I don't give a shit. It's not for you. You understand? It's for anybody who wants to listen. I'm not telling anybody to do anything, you understand? I'm just letting people know there's pros and cons of a relationship, and there's also pros and cons of a situationship. Understand? If you're in a situationship, trust me, you would want to be getting into a relationship instead of a situationship. Because a situationship always continues going left. There's never an up in a situationship, because it's always a situation, one situation or the other. Understand? So look, if you lot enjoyed my video, which I hope you did, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment, do what you need to do. And look, I'll see you lot in my next video. Peace.